I hate turning on freedom in remote spots like this, like where people come to fish and just enjoy life, because it's such a serene area. And she's so loud now. Oh my gosh. Okay. I can turn it on. Just get out of here. Turn it on. Get out of here. Turn it on. Get out of here. Ready? Oh man. I'm sorry. What's up, Riveter Nation? It's Taylor Riveter coming at you this gloomy, doomy kind of morning, but it's Freedom Friday. So are you excited? Because I'm excited. Are you excited? Because I'm excited. Alright guys, I'm going to jump into this video. It's going to be a little bit of a different format for you guys. I just want to, capitalize on the fact that, I reside in Texas. So a lot of the things and landmarks and history that my state has experienced has not been experienced by most of my viewers or subscribers. So I recognize that, and I want to just kind of share with you guys some of the rich history of my homeland, Texas. I was born here in the state of Texas, just a different part. I was actually born around the El Paso area, and then my parents decided to raise us in the Houston area just because of personal reasons. So living in Houston, there's a lot of great sites, compared to El Paso, at least for me. There's a lot more things to do. It's a bigger city. It's a lot more culturally expansive, I would say. It's just a different feel than the El Paso life that I was living. So today I do want to, you guys click on the title, you guys know what we're talking about today. I want to talk to you guys about the Battle of San Jacinto. And so this is basically, like I said, it's going to be a bit of a different video format. I'm actually going to take you guys to one of my favorite spots. You guys know it's one of my favorite spots from previous videos. It's a USS Texas, the battleship. But there's also the San Jacinto Monument, as well as a lot of different historical facts and artifacts and things located where the actual battleship is located. I just haven't shown my audience this. So jumping into the San Jacinto battle, or the Battle of San Jacinto, it was basically during the Texas War for Independence. They were fighting for their independence away from Mexico. And, during this time, it was, a lot of development in different countries. The Mexicans were basically, they had basically just gotten their independence from Spain. And then, of course, the U.S. was trying to get their independence from Britain, and Texas was trying to win their independence from Mexico. This battle is very important. This was after the Battle of Goliad and the Alamo, or the battle for the Alamo. But this was one of the major battles in the Texas War for Independence, or the War for Texas Independence. Basically what it was is, Texas was a lot smaller, and we were not as intricate as the Mexican army at this point. And Mexico, Santa Anna had already brought in more troops. They were trying to, just end the war currently and just take over Texas, but Texans were not having it. So under General Sam Houston, he took his men bravely into battle. And, that's the thing that I commend people who fight in war, especially for war of independence. They don't know the outcome. We can look back at it and be like, oh, these are great men, they fought for independence. They didn't know what the outcome was going to be whenever they entered these battles. We see them as our war heroes. They didn't know that they were going to be war heroes, or they were going to be killed in the midst of battle, and that's a great feat. It's a great feat for them, as Texans. They were completely outnumbered during this war, and Santa Anna thought that this was going to be a great victory. The biggest thing that I like to commend people who are fighting for their independence, because they are fighting for a cause, they are fighting for freedom, and we tend to have more motivation whenever we're in a fight for our individual freedoms, for our, now current days, our constitutional freedoms. We have that push. Now other countries, they're fighting just to, continue their reign against that, against freedom. So I believe when it comes to wars and battles for actual independence, freedom, whatever the case may be. I believe that people who are fighting on the side for their freedoms, for their independence, that they have more of a push, more of a motivation. They are fighting to make not only their lives better, but the lives of their children, their grandchildren, their lineage, you know. And when it comes to that, there's a huge push, a huge motivation, a huge loyalty. You know, I talked about Sybil Ludington a few weeks ago, and same thing with her. You know, it's not known at the time when they are going through the thick of it that they are actually going to be heroes. They don't know this. All they know is that they are committing their life to a cause, you know. And that's why I really have a huge respect for our military. I greatly respect our soldiers, our vets. You know, they wrote out a blank check for up to their lives to fight for what this nation deemed necessary, and I'm really appreciative of that. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and jump into this video. It's a little bit of a different format, and let's go with it. I want to just, you know, take you guys on the grounds and read some stuff to you, show you guys some surprising things that I kind of learned. You know, it's a great travesty when we don't know our history. If we don't know our history, we are doomed to repeat it. So I believe that, you know, getting educated on what really happened, you know, in our history, whether it's our state history or our country's history, is very vital to our future. All right, so let's go ahead and zip ahead to the fun stuff. San Jacinto Museum of History. Open 7 days a week, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is not even important. I'm just reading you the legend here, or the legend of the map. Oh, okay, so here we go. So, this makes sense. This is awesome. Okay. All right, guys. So we are here at the San Jacinto Battleground, State Historic Site. This is actually the San Jacinto Monument here. It's huge. It's ridiculously huge. I'm going to go ahead and put a picture here that shows freedom with the monument. It's huge. It's huge. Okay, so basically, the Battleship Texas is where I normally take you guys. You know, I have a video. I'll link it at the top. Those of you who are new to my channel, I will link it so you can click on it and watch it. So basically, where the battleship is located, this is a Texan camp. That is, in a little while, I'm going to show you some, like a cemetery and some headstones. So I'll show you that here, the Texans camp. This reflecting pool, we're actually about to go see in a little bit. The reflection pool is basically where the battleground is here, because it's Texans camp, and then the Mexican camp. We are here. So Mexican camp is, so we got battleship, reflection pool, San Jacinto Monument. So that would mean the Mexican camp is over here. Yeah, over there somewhere. Sorry, over there somewhere. So that would be the Mexican camp. So, all right, that's pretty cool. Let me see. I wonder if, can I ride this? Or is that, oh, it's subject to closures. I don't know if that's a road that I can ride. We'll see. Okay. Anyways, what I'm going to do here, so let's see, discover San Jacinto Battleground State Historic Site. Step back in time to learn how Texas won its independence at San Jacinto Battleground State Historic Site. Self-guided tour, well, okay, that doesn't matter. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you around this beautiful building. I'm starting on this side, and I'm just going to work my way around because it's the whole story of the Battle of San Jacinto. So I'm going to go ahead and read that out for you guys. I'm then going to go ahead and take you guys to the reflection pond, and there's a plaque over there that I want to read. You can see the battleship in the distance. My fat finger isn't covering it. After we hit up the reflection pond, we're going to go to the battleship. There's a few headstones I really want you guys to see. There's actually a headstone of a guy, the oldest one that I found on the ground. He was born in 1776. So he was born the same year that the Declaration of Independence was born, and that's pretty awesome to me. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and start on this side, walk around the building, just reading the full story out to you guys. If you don't like me reading, I'm sorry. Then I'm actually going to take you guys to reflection pond, look at the plaque. I don't even know what the plaque says. Then I'll go ahead and take you guys over to the battleship and look at some headstones. And then there's another gift that we were given, or the Daughters of Texas actually placed on that site over there. We're gonna go ahead and look at that, and then from then we'll conclude this video. So stick around and see the good stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward through the bits that are not important, and I'll go ahead and, like I said, read, move. Let's do this. The early policies of Mexico toward her Texas colonists had been extremely liberal. Large grants of land were made to them, and no taxes or duties imposed. The relationship between the Anglo-Americans and the Mexicans was cordial, but following a series of revolutions begun in 1829, unscrupulous rulers successively seized power in Mexico. Their unjust acts and despotic decrees led to the revolution in Texas. Despotic. That has to be it. In June 1832, the colonists forced the Mexican authorities at Anahuac to release William B. Travis and others from unjust imprisonment. The Battle of Velasco, June 26, and the Battle of Nacogdoches, August 2nd, followed. In both the Texans were victorious. Stephen Fuller Austin, father of Texas, was arrested January 3rd, 1834, and held in Mexico without trial until July 1835. The Texans formed an army, and on November 12th, 1835, established a provisional government. The first shot of the Revolution of 1835 to 1836 was fired by the Texans at Gonzales, October 2nd, 1835, in resistance to a demand by Mexican soldiers for a small cannon held by the colonists. The Mexican garrison at Goliad fell October 9th. The Battle of Concepcion was won by the Texans October 28th. San Antonio was captured December 10th, 1835, after 5 days of fighting, in which the indomitable Benjamin R. Milam died a hero, and the Mexican army evacuated Texas. I believe that cannon that they're talking about is the come and take it cannon that you see for us 2A'ers. I believe that's the cannon, but I might be misinformed. Here we go. Texas declared her independence at Washington on the Brazos. March 2nd, for nearly 2 months, her armies met disaster and defeat. Dr. James Grant's men were killed on the Agua Dulce. March 2nd, William Barrett Travis and his men sacrificed their lives at the Alamo. March 6th, William Ward was defeated at Refugio. March 14th, Ammon B. King's men were executed near Refugio. March 16th, and James Walker Fannin and his army were put to death near Goliad. March 27th, 1836. On this field, on April 21st, 1836, the Army of Texas, commanded by General Sam Houston and accompanied by the Secretary of War Thomas J. Rusk, attacked the larger evading army of the Mexicans under General Santa Anna. The battle line from left to right was formed by Sidney Sherman's regiment, Edward Burleson's regiment, the artillery commanded by George W. Hockley, Henry Miller's infantry, and the cavalry under Mirabeau B. Lamar. Sam Houston led the infantry charge. With the battle cry, "Remember the Alamo, remember Goliad," the Texans charged. The enemy, taken by surprise, rallied for a few minutes, then fled in disorder. The Texans had asked no quarter and gave none. The slaughter was appalling. Victory complete and Texas free. On the following day, General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, self-styled Napoleon of the West, received from a generous foe the mercy he had denied Travis at the Alamo and Fannin at Goliad. Wow. See, Texans still have a great heart. We're almost done, guys. See, here's a description. San Jacinto right here. See, San Jacinto, that's where we're at now. Citizens of Texas and immigrant soldiers in the Army of Texas at San Jacinto were natives of Alabama, Arkansas, Connecticut, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, New Hampshire, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Vermont, Virginia, Austria, Canada, England, France, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Mexico, Poland, Portugal, and Scotland. Man, our heritage, Texans. Measured by its results, San Jacinto was one of the decisive battles of the world. The freedom of Texas from Mexico won here led to annexation and to the Mexican War, resulting in the acquisition by the United States of the states of Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, California, Utah, and parts of Colorado, Wyoming, Kansas, and Oklahoma. Almost 1/3 of the present area of the American nation, nearly 1 million square miles of territory, changed sovereignty. Dang. That's awesome. San Jacinto Battlefield has been designated a registered National Historic Landmark. Under the provisions of the Historic Sites Act of August 21st, 1935, this site possesses exceptional value in commemorating and illustrating the history of the United States U.S. Department of the Interior National Park Service, 1962. And you can see it's kind of like the Statue of Liberty. It's kind of turning green. It's pretty cool. There's one more thing I can go read over there. Fast forward. I was about to say, man, they keep this thing a mess. Like, nobody cleans it up or anything. And then it says, let it grow. Leaving this tall grass prairie alone helps it return to its natural state. As natural as you can get with poop on it. Hands-off approach. This tall grass prairie knows exactly what it's doing. Left alone, native grasses, such as blue stem, thrive here. Frequent mowing and other disturbances kill these native grasses and allow non-native plants, such as Chinese tallow, to take over. Chinese! Heavy human activity around San Jacinto Battleground has resulted in a struggle to survive for native grasses. The solution is simple but requires our help. Leaving the prairie alone lets native grasses take root. Pretty cool. Home again. A restored tallgrass prairie is more than just a mix of grasses. It is a foundation for a diverse ecosystem. The prairie provides an excellent habitat for a variety of grasses, wildflowers, birds, and animals. Restoring this habitat to its natural state pushes out unwanted non-native species. Prairies are helpful in other ways that are more difficult to see too. Deep grass roots prevent erosion, leading to more stable and healthy habitat overall. Whistling ducks. The way things were. Could prairie restoration also help us to understand history? In 1836, when the Battle of San Jacinto took place, the landscape looked much different than it does today. The native tallgrass prairie stood waist high and played an important role in the outcome of the battle. As the Texan soldiers advanced on the Mexican camp, they concealed themselves in the tall grass. Because of landscape changes since 1836, it is difficult for us to picture the battle. Wow. I, for one, don't like bugs. I don't like them. I'm not one of those girly girls. I just don't like mosquito bites. Humidity, it just kills. Let me see. Here's a note. Finding the enemy taking shelter in another island of timber about 400 yards from the road towards the marsh, the rider stood three-fourths of an hour trying to get a shot at them as they lay in the grass, which was nearly waist high. Yeah, it's a great concealment battle tactic for sure. So these are the flags here. And here. So I'm pretty sure the cannon we read about is where the Come and Take It campaign derived from. Mexico wanted the cannon. And Texas said, come and take it, foes. Fast forward. Always look both ways before crossing the street. Oh, there's the crosswalk. Oh, well. It's a graveyard. Cemetery. Sorry, not a graveyard. Oh, I could walk right here because the bodies are right there. I wonder how old these things are. I could walk right here? Yeah, I could walk right here. Oh my gosh, this is insane. Look. 1877, 1929. Oh, can I stand right here? I mean, there's steps. Dang, 1800. Died 1868. I think he was a priest because it says father. The Mason family, man, y'all invested real good because this is still standing. 2 days before the battle. 2 days before the battle. This morning we are in preparation to meet Santa Anna. It is the only chance of saving Texas. From time to time I have looked for reinforcements in vain. We will only have about 700 to march with besides the camp guard. We go to conquer. It is wisdom growing out of necessity to meet the enemy. Now every consideration enforces it. No previous occasion would justify it. The troops are in fine spirits, and now it is time for action. We shall use our best efforts to fight the enemy to such advantage as will ensure victory though the odds are greatly against us. I leave the result in the hands of a wise God and rely upon his providence. My country will do justice for those who serve her. The rights for which we fight will be secured. And Texas free. Sam Houston. Remember the Alamo. This is awesome, man. I never even saw this. Remember Goliad. The hours, days, and years of unfolding time shall never dim the spirit of liberty kindled on this field of battle. Wow. It's gorgeous, man. If only you guys could see the fine details on this thing. The hours, days, and years of the unfolding time shall never dim the spirit of liberty kindled on this field of battle. Site Twin Sisters, April 20th, 1836. Cannon presented by citizens of Cincinnati to Republic of Texas. In grateful appreciation of the efforts of the citizens of Cincinnati, Ohio, whose generous help extended here to our forefathers struggling for freedom and justice, helped achieve a new dawn for free men at San Jacinto on April 21st, 1836, we, the descendants of those brave men, hereby dictate replicas of the Twin Sisters from Cincinnati at San Jacinto on April 21st, 1974, and rededicate ourselves to the responsible continuation of freedom that they gained for us. The Brown Foundation, Incorporated of Houston, the Sons of the Republic of Texas, San Jacinto Battleground, Houston, Texas. It's pretty cool. The Texan Army fought for a variety of reasons, which were outlined in the Texas Declaration of Independence. Tensions mount. Conflicts between Mexico and the Anglo colonists of Texas were rooted in distrust. While Mexico moved to restrict immigration, North American settlers continued to pour over the border illegally. The earliest settlers signed oaths of loyalty, but the newcomers felt no sense of duty to Mexico. In 1835, President Antonio Lopez de Santa assumed dictatorial powers and abolished the Constitution of 1824. Anglo colonists then took up arms with Tejanos who were frustrated by the political changes. I got an itch in my ear. Victory at San Jacinto cemented Sam Houston's fame as he went on to become the first president of the Republic of Texas. Santa Anna responded to the Texan rebellion swiftly. He crushed most of their forces in early 1836 and forced the remainder of the army into retreat. The Texas Provisional Government pushed General Sam Houston toward battle, viewing his strategy of retreat as an unnecessary delay. Houston knew that his untrained troops were no match for the Mexican army. Victory at San Jacinto was far from certain. While Houston may have had reservations about the attack, he personally led the charge that was among the 30 Texans wounded. He personally led the charge and was among the 30 Texans wounded. Sorry. So 1836, this is the United States territory, this yellow. This is, the brown is the United States, and this is Mexican territory, so Texas was part of Mexico. As a direct consequence of the Battle of San Jacinto, Mexico lost over half of its former territory, including all or part of 10 modern U.S. states. The Battle of San Jacinto was an important victory for the Texans, but it was the capture of Santa Anna that won the war. With their commander-in-chief held hostage, the Mexican army was forced to withdraw from Texas. However, the Mexican government refused to recognize the new Republic of Texas. The United States annexed Texas in 1845, provoking the Mexican-American War. At the war's conclusion in 1848, Mexico reluctantly accepted its loss. Texas. The movement to set apart San Jacinto battleground as a patriotic shrine began in 1856, when a group of Texas veterans assembled here started a fund for a monument to the 9 men who fell in battle. Remember, 9, 300, or 600. How easily I forget. In 1883, the state purchased the first 10 acres. And then you have idiots here who, inscribe their own crap. What the heck is wrong with these people? Gosh, no respect. From its organization in 1891, the Daughters of the Republic of Texas became leaders in this work. They assisted in establishing the boundaries of the battlefield, placing granite boulders on significant sites, and induced the state legislature to appropriate money for buying and improving the land. Nice. One for the women. In 1936, the state and nation began the erection of the memorial shaft to honor all Texas heroes. In 1939, San Jacinto chapter Daughters of the Republic of Texas, acting as trustees for the Texas veterans, erected the sundial. Oh, that thing over there. Thus completing the work began 86 years before. Wow. But I hope you guys liked the little tour. If you guys like this kind of format of video, let me know so I can try to get some more footage like this around Texas. I know people who don't live in Texas don't have the chance to come here, on a quick Saturday, Sunday drive, At least I can share some of my what I have here in Texas with you guys. I just think it's a really interesting place. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous, and the amount of history that is described here. You just can't help but have a sense of respect, a sense of pride. I am a native Texan, so I'm not native to the Houston area, but our nation, man, the roots of our nation run deep, and I'm so very grateful to the men and the women who fought for liberty for anybody, whether it's for us here in Texas or the United States as a whole. And I think that gets lost on this generation. People just don't respect it for what it is, And I think that's truly a travesty. Especially my generation, millennials. My generation is ridiculous. They just know more about things that are totally irrelevant and not important than the actual history of our country, their own history, freedoms. And it's truly a disservice to the youth of this country, because those who don't know their history are doomed to repeat it. And I, for one, see that as a very serious issue. And I don't think that this video is going to go very far and wide. But I think the message does need to go out there, that we need to take it upon ourselves. If our school system's not going to teach us the important things, then we, as parents or, people who have children in their life, we need to take that upon ourselves and show them right and wrong and our nation's history. And so, America is not inherently bad. We did not, a lot of the thing that's out there right now is that America was never a great country. It's never going to be a great country, and it was a horrible country, and that it couldn't be any farther than the truth. You need to do your history, true history, and find out how great America truly is. And I'm going to take a picture of my beauty here because she is absolutely gorgeous. Can't help but to show her off, I'd rather be doing this on a Saturday morning or, you know, weekend than recovering from drinking and all that, you know. But that's just me. So thanks guys for joining along. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Thank you. If you like this video, you know, hit that thumbs up button. If you really liked it, let me know. Share it. It's pretty interesting, you know, of what we just have here. You know, this place has been here. Lived in Houston for years. And I've come here a few times, but never with the full understanding, you know. Like, comment, subscribe. Be a great American. Be a great Texan. Just be a good person in general, you know. Nobody likes assholes. Alright. Hopefully I'll see you guys on the next one.